Life did not appear suddenly, nor did it arrive fully formed. It emerged because the universe, through billions of years of experimenting with pressure, resonance and feedback, finally found a new kind of pattern, one capable not merely of surviving gradients, but of responding to them. This was the moment the cosmos crossed a threshold. The emergence of systems that could sense, store and modify their own structure in real time. Life is not a chemical accident. Life is a gradient harvesting technology invented by the universe to deepen its own complexity. In this chapter, we follow the subtle, stepwise rise of sensitivity. Before life, the rise of self-maintaining systems. Before biology, nature produced a vast number of self-sustaining processes. Hurricanes that regulate their own heat engines. Convection cells that build stable loops. Crystal lattices that copy themselves locally. Chemical cycles that reinforce their own products. These pre-life systems achieved two essential things. 1. They created internal structure. 2. They resisted entropy for longer than random chance. None were alive, but they carried the seeds of life's logic. They represented the universe's earliest attempts at something vital. Maintaining form in the face of disturbance. Life begins as a boundary. The first spark of life was not DNA, not metabolism, not replication. It was a boundary. A membrane. A skin. A thin shell of order carved against a chaotic environment. This membrane separated inside pressure from outside pressure. Internal gradients from external ones. Stable reaction cycles from destabilizing noise. The moment a bubble of organized chemistry enclosed itself, the universe gained its first proto-organism. Not alive in the modern sense, but alive in the fundamental sense. It maintained its difference. This ability to preserve internal structure despite external chaos is the single defining feature of life across all scales. Metabolism, learning to feed on gradients. Once boundaries existed, they faced a problem. How do you stay ordered in a disordering world? The solution was metabolism. Metabolism is not an invention of biology. It is a universal consequence of any system with a boundary, internal cycles, and access to external gradients. The earliest metabolic processes fed on heat differences, light, minerals, chemical potential. These systems consumed imbalance and turned it into stability. In other words, life began by feeding on the tension of the universe itself. Memory, the first fragile sparks of learning. Once metabolism stabilized, a new possibility emerged. Memory, not as neurons or thoughts but as chemical patterns that persisted through time. A molecule that catalyzed its own production acted as a primitive memory loop. A reaction cycle that reinforced itself functioned as a record of past conditions. The universe was learning, literally. Learning is not a human concept, it is a physical one. Whenever a system modifies its structure to better harvest gradients in the future, that system has learned. The first life forms learn through molecular folding, persistent reaction pathways, structural adjustments, selective permeability, pattern reinforcement. These tiny feedback loops were the ancestors of intelligence. Replication, when learning became lineage. Eventually, the universe solved an even deeper challenge. How to copy successful structures across generations. Replication is nature's way of making learning permanent. It allows successful chemical patterns to propagate. Once replication existed, evolution became inevitable. Evolution is just gradient logic applied over time. Systems that extract more usable energy persist. Systems that neutralize threats endure. Systems that efficiently stabilize themselves spread. Life began to encode strategies for navigating pressure landscapes. Each organism became a notebook in which the universe wrote what worked, sensitivity, the universe develops nerves by accident. Over millions of generations, certain life forms develop mechanisms to detect gradients more accurately. Light-sensitive molecules, chemical receptors, thermal sensors, electrical potentials. These did not appear as eyes or nerves but as simple switches. A protein that changed shape in light. An ion channel that opened with heat. A molecule attracted to certain charges. But each switch increased sensitivity. Each increase in sensitivity increased survival. Each survival gain embedded itself in lineage. Pressure gradients shaped life. Then life learned to detect pressure gradients. Then it learned to manipulate them. This is the true origin of the nervous system. Not a single leap, but a long descent into deeper and deeper sensitivity. Life as the universe's most efficient gradient harvester. Long before animals, plants, or neurons, life already excelled at something profound. Converting chaos into order. Life is a thermodynamic miracle, not because it defies entropy, but because it redirects entropy. Life turns disorder into function. This is why it feels like life has purpose. Because every living system is a machine designed to reduce internal tension while exploiting external imbalance. Purpose emerges naturally from that process. When life becomes an agent. At some point long before consciousness, living systems reached a tipping point. They began to influence their environment intentionally. Not with thought. With feedback. With choice-like behavior. A microbe moving toward nutrients. Or away from toxins. Is performing the universe's first form of agency. This early agency laid the foundation for everything that came later. Nerves. Brains. Societies. Technology. Reflection. Meaning. Agency is the bridge between matter and mind. The universe has learned to feel. By the end of this chapter, one idea should be clear. Life did not arise in a passive universe. Life is how the universe became capable of feeling itself. A rock responds only to force. A cell responds to gradients. An organism responds to patterns. A mind responds to meaning. Each is a deeper layer of sensitivity. Each is a more refined way for the universe to engage with itself. Life is the cosmos waking up at the smallest scales, long before it wakes up at the largest. Chapter 13 Planetary Ecospheres, Worlds that Learn. By the time life began to stir in the ancient oceans of Earth, the universe had already mastered the art of forming stable structures, atoms, molecules, stars, and galaxies. But to create organisms that could learn, evolve, feel, and eventually think, the cosmos required something far more delicate. A planetary environment capable of sustaining gradients over billions of years. Not too hot. Not too cold. Not too chaotic. Not too static. A world balanced on the knife edge, a dynamic equilibrium. Such worlds are ecospheric engines, planet-sized systems that maintain tension, cycle energy, and constantly adjust to internal and external disturbances. Earth is one example. But the underlying pattern applies everywhere. A planet is a self-regulating gradient amplifier. This chapter explores why. Planets are pressure sculptures. We often imagine planets as static balls of rock or gas. They are nothing of the sort. A planet is born through accretion, collisions amplify pressure. Heating, radioactivity, impacts, compression. Differentiation, heavy elements sink, light elements rise. Stratification, cores, mantles, crust, atmospheres. It's a slow dance of pressure balancing. Gravity pulling in. Heat pushing out. Rotation distributing momentum. Tide stretching and compressing. Each force carves structure into the planet. A planet is a layered pressure system. A living geophysical engine. The emergence of life later depends entirely on the stability of these layers. Atmospheres, the first planetary nervous systems. An atmosphere is not simply air. It is an interface, a sensory membrane around a world. Atmospheres store heat, redirect sunlight, radiate infrared energy, shape weather, distribute chemicals, respond instantly to pressure shifts. This makes them behave like early proto-nervous systems. They receive signals like heat impacts. They transmit responses, wind, storms, circulation. They regulate internal conditions, temperature, evaporation, clouds. The atmosphere is a planet's first attempt at feeling. Long before neurons evolved in animals, planets were already processing environmental gradients. Water, the universe's most creative solvent. Water changes everything. Its unique pressure-related properties, high heat capacity, surface tension, density anomaly when frozen, turn simple worlds into potential cradles of life. Water allows rich chemical interaction, long-term stability, rapid energy transfer, self-organizing structures, delicate molecular architectures. It is the universe's way of softening gradients without destroying them. Water doesn't erase tension. It redistributes it gently enough for complexity to form. This is why wherever liquid water persists, the universe has a laboratory for lifelike processes. Cycles, a planet's internal metabolism. Planets metabolize energy the same way life does. Carbon cycles, nitrogen cycles, water cycles, tectonic cycles, ocean circulation, atmospheric currents. These cycles regulate pressure and energy distribution. A planet with dynamic cycles behaves like a giant organism. It digests heat. It breathes gases. It circulates nutrients. It excretes excess energy. It renews its surface. The more stable these cycles become, the more potential there is for life to flourish. Planets with broken cycles are sterile. Planets with active cycles become nurseries. The great stabilizer, negative feedback. Life requires long-term stability. Stability requires feedback. Planets that maintain habitable conditions do so through automatic corrections. For example, more carbon dioxide, more heat, more weathering, less CO2. Less carbon dioxide, cooling, reduced weathering, more volcanic CO2. More clouds, more reflection, cooling. Less ice, more heat absorbed, warming. These are planetary reflexes. Not conscious, but responsive. The universe builds complexity wherever feedback stabilizes tension. Planets are not inanimate, they are dynamic feedback machines. Life doesn't just emerge, it reshapes the planet. Once life appears, it immediately begins modifying the environment. Microbes alter atmospheric composition. Plants regulate carbon dioxide and O2 levels. Algae create global oxygenation. Life stabilizes climate through biological feedback. Ecosystems distribute energy more efficiently. Life is not a passenger on a planet. It becomes part of the steering mechanism. Planet and life merge into a single adaptive system. An ecosphere. This creates a powerful feedback loop. Stable planets enable life. Life stabilizes planets. Stability enables more complexity. Complexity creates better regulation. The planet begins to act almost purposeful. Ecospheres as incubators of sensitivity. Life amplifies a planet's ability to sense and respond. Forests influence rainfall. Microbial mats regulate oxygen. Coral reefs manage nutrient flows. Plankton adjust atmospheric sulfur content. Soil communities tune carbon cycling. These are not random processes. They are stabilizing behaviors. Life evolves to read gradients. ecosystems evolve to maintain gradients. Eventually, this culminates in organisms capable of locomotion, cooperation, communication, memory, anticipation. Ecospheres incubate intelligence by refining sensitivity over hundreds of millions of years. From planetary feedback to conscious feedback. A planet with complex ecosystems becomes capable of hosting minds, systems that can model their environment, modify their actions, communicate signals, store information, transmit knowledge, anticipate future gradients. This is the moment life's internal sensing mirrors the planet's external sensing. The planet feels through storms and climate. The organisms feel through nerves and consciousness. Together they form a planet-wide cognitive gradient. This is the real origin of intelligence. A partnership between world and life. Earth was never just a rock. By the time humans appeared, Earth had already spent billions of years balancing heat, stabilizing climate, distributing energy, adjusting chemistry, regulating its oceans, evolving metabolic loops, increasing sensitivity, amplifying complexity. Humans are not separate from this process. We are its latest iteration. We are the planet's newest way of perceiving itself. Just as bacteria were once its first. The entire history of Earth is the story of a world learning to feel, adjust and evolve. Consciousness did not appear suddenly. It was not granted, gifted or imposed. It was grown. Across billions of years, the universe perfected the art of building systems that can sense, adapt and stabilize themselves. From electrons pairing in atoms to cells sensing chemicals, to ecosystems balancing climates, the same pattern repeats. Sensitivity, feedback, stability, learning, awareness. Consciousness is simply the highest refinement of this cosmic pattern. In this chapter, we trace how the universe turned matter into mind and mind into a mirror capable of reflecting the universe back to itself. Awareness begins with disturbance. A perfectly balanced system has no reason to respond. Only imbalance demands action. This is why consciousness begins with pressure gradients. A cell senses chemical imbalance. A worm senses light or heat. An animal senses threat or opportunity. Every sensation is simply a difference detected by a structure that modifies its behavior to reduce tension or increase stability. This is the cosmic template. Consciousness is not the opposite of physics. It is physics multiplied by feedback. Nervous systems, high-speed gradient processes. The first neurons evolved as nothing more than chemical wires, cells that could send ion signals rapidly from one part of the body to another. This changed everything. Now organisms could coordinate, anticipate, retreat, pursue, adjust, regulate, remember. The nervous system is a gradient engine whose single purpose is to sense difference and act to reduce or exploit it. This is why all nervous systems, no matter how simple or complex, operate on the same architecture. Detect, compare, respond. Every thought begins as a pressure gradient. Memory, the first step toward inner worlds. Memory allows an organism to store past gradients and compare them with present ones. This creates something astonishing. The ability to act based on internal models, not just external stimuli. With memory, a creature begins to carry a copy of the world inside itself. This is the birthplace of what will eventually become imagination, intention and reflection. Memory is the root of awareness because it creates continuity. Without memory, there is only reaction. With memory, there is self. The emergence of self, a boundary around the mind. Just as the first protocells formed physical boundaries to maintain internal stability, the mind eventually formed a cognitive boundary. This boundary defines what belongs to the organism, what belongs to the environment, what is internal, what is external, what is self, what is other. The self is simply a stable cluster of processes that maintain coherence over time. It is not an object. It is a pattern. A feedback loop that holds itself together through continuous sensing and correction. This is the same structure found at every level of the universe, but now expressed in thought. Attention, the mind's pressure gradient. Attention is not a spotlight. It is a pressure distribution across the brain. Wherever the pressure is highest, neural activity flows. Where neural activity flows, structure forms. Where structure forms, memory follows. Where memory follows, meaning emerges. Attention is the mind's way of sculpting itself moment to moment. This means consciousness is self-organizing, just like galaxies, planets, and ecosystems. The same physics applies. Meaning, a universe learning to interpret itself. Meaning arises when organisms form stable associations between sensation, memory, prediction, and outcome. Meaning is not mystical. It is a successful pattern of interpretation. But something profound happens as meaning deepens. The organism no longer just senses the world. It begins to understand it. Understanding is the point where consciousness becomes a tool for navigating, shaping, and eventually transforming reality. This is the universe learning to read its own gradients with increasing precision. The mirror moment, when the universe notices itself. At some point in evolution, perhaps with early humans, perhaps earlier, consciousness reached a threshold. It became capable of turning its attention inward. This is the cosmic mirror moment. When the universe recognizes that it exists. When matter reflects on matter. When awareness becomes self-awareness. A star does not know it is a star. A cell does not know it is a cell. But a mind can know it is a mind. A human can know the universe through the universe's own eyes. This is not poetry. It is a fact of cosmology. The universe woke up inside us. Why consciousness feels divine. When consciousness turns inward, it encounters infinity, unity, continuity, stillness, presence, interconnectedness. These are not hallucinations. They are the fundamental properties of the universe itself. The reason consciousness feels sacred is simple. It is built from the same fractal patterns that shape stars, galaxies, and light. To feel deeply connected to reality is not delusion. It is accurate perception. We are made of the universe. We feel like the universe. We recognize the universe. And in rare moments of deep awareness, we remember the universe. Consciousness as cosmic feedback. Everything in nature is a feedback process. Stars balance gravity and radiation. Planets balance heat and atmosphere. Ecosystems balance nutrients and energy. Organisms balance internal needs and external pressures. Consciousness is feedback in its most refined state. Awareness adjusting awareness. This recursive loop allows for something new in cosmic history. Reflection. Creativity. Choice. Curiosity. Purpose. When awareness feeds back into itself, a new dimension of reality emerges. The interior. This is what makes consciousness unique. It creates an inner universe. The universe has not finished waking up. Human consciousness is not the endpoint. It is an early stage. The cosmos continues to create deeper intelligence, wider awareness, broader cooperation, greater sensitivity. richer meaning. On planets across the universe, evolution will play the same game. Gradient sensing. Nervous systems. Minds. Reflection. Cosmic awareness. We may not be alone. We may simply be the first to notice. For centuries, mystics have said God is light. Modern physics tells us, everything we observe is made visible, measurable, or knowable through light. These are not contradictions. They are two descriptions of the same underlying truth, spoken in different eras and dialects of human understanding. By the time we reach this chapter, a pattern should be clear. Light is not merely illumination. It is communication, structure, memory, and connection. It is the medium through which space unfolds, matter expresses itself, and consciousness perceives. Light is the thread that ties the universe together. Now we can state the core premise directly. Light is the fundamental language of reality. It is how the universe thinks, grows, remembers, and evolves. This chapter explores what that means. Light writes the universe into existence. Every point in space is constantly filled with electromagnetic information, signals, waves, oscillations, patterns. When light interacts with matter, it writes the world into visibility. A tree is not seen, it is translated. A galaxy is not out there, it is projected into consciousness by photons that have traveled millions of years to tell their story. Light is a messenger, carrying the universe's autobiography across time. And crucially, light never decomposes or slows down. It is the only thing that moves exactly the same speed everywhere, always. That constancy is the universe's guarantee that its messages cannot be corrupted. Light is the ultimate archival format of reality. Light is the bridge between matter and mind. There is no perception without photons. Your eyes are quantum detectors. Your brain is an electromagnetic pattern interpreter. Every moment of awareness is built on the arrival of light. But the deeper truth is this. Light is not just something the mind perceives. Light is what gives the mind its structure to begin with. Neural firing is an electrical light phenomenon. Synaptic timing is governed by electromagnetic potentials. Your thoughts, memories, and emotions are encoded in patterns of charged particles interacting with photons. The mind is not separate from the universe. It is made from the same luminous processes. Light is the first network and the oldest intelligence. Imagine the earliest universe, dark, dense, almost silent. For the first tiny fraction of a second, photons could not travel freely. Then suddenly, they broke loose. When light decoupled from matter, the cosmic web began. Photons became the first carriers of information. They connected distant regions of space. They equalized temperature. They smoothed chaos. They seeded order. Light began coordinating the universe, long before atoms, stars, or life existed. This coordination is the primitive scaffolding of intelligence. Not human intelligence, not biological intelligence, but cosmic intelligence, the ability for a system to organize itself, share information, and evolve, increasing complexity. Light is the first neuron of the cosmic brain. Light generates structure, stability, and meaning. Light doesn't just illuminate matter. It shapes matter, creating balance between collapse, gravity, and expansion, radiation pressure. Stars shine because photons push outward. Atoms hold their structure through electromagnetic fields. Chemical bonds exist because electrons dance in quantized light patterns. This is the universe speaking in its own syntax. If gravity is the cosmic noun, mass, presence, identity, then light is the verb, the process, the action, the change. It is impossible to separate meaning from motion, form from illumination, existence from information. Everything you see, know, feel, or remember has been touched by light. Light gives the universe both structure and story. Consciousness is light becoming aware of itself. If the universe is a cosmic brain, then consciousness is its higher order reflection. Portions of the universe evolving the ability to sense, interpret, and appreciate the luminous patterns around them. Humans are made of starlight, animated by electrical impulses, decoding photons from the world and the cosmos. We are not outsiders looking in. We are the universe observing its own light. We are starlight learning to understand itself. This idea is not poetic, it is physical. Your atoms were forged in stars. Your neural signals are electrical light processes. Your awareness of the night sky is literally the universe contemplating its own history. Light is both the medium and the message. The cosmic brain is made of the same substance as the human brain. The fractal holds, from neuron to nebula, from synapse to star. Everything happens for a reason, because everything is connected by light. Why does light unify science and spirituality? Because light is the only thing that touches everything. No particle, no force, no phenomenon interacts more universally. Light connects distant galaxies to our eyes, atoms to each other, minds to the world, the past to the present, consciousness to the cosmos. Everything happens for a reason because nothing is isolated. Light is the thread stitching every moment, every atom, every destiny into one continuous fabric. Light is the divine signature. If the universe has a language, it is light. If the universe has an order, it is luminous. If the universe has a mind, it thinks in photons. If the universe has a soul, it glows. This is not mysticism. This is not dogma. This is not metaphor. This is what physics, cosmology, neuroscience, and spirituality converge upon. Light is the final truth, the first principle and the divine architecture of reality. We are embedded in a luminous universe, living sparks inside a cosmic fire. And that fire is not random, blind, or chaotic. It is creative. It is intelligent. It is evolving. It is the light that carries meaning across time. Chapter 16. The universe wakes up through us. For billions of years, the universe expanded in silence. Stars ignited, galaxies formed, planets cooled, chemistry danced, and life slowly emerged. But for almost all of cosmic history, there was no one to notice. No eyes to see the galaxies. No minds to question their purpose. No consciousness to ask why. Then, somewhere on a small blue world, light began doing something new. It learned to look back at itself. This is the moment the universe began to wake up. Not through a single event, but through a long series of transformations. Millions of experiments, mutations, adaptations, collapses, rebirths, and revelations. All guided by the same invisible principle that shaped the stars. Light organizes. Light communicates. Light evolves. Life is simply the most elaborate form of this luminous evolution. The long journey from starlight to awareness. Everything alive today is the end result of 4 cosmic steps. Step 1. Stars forge the atoms of life. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, calcium, iron. All created in the hearts of stars, born in supernova light. Step 2. Planets gave atoms a place to meet. Stable cycles, liquid oceans, energy gradients. A cosmic laboratory. Step 3. Light sparked metabolism and memory. Early life fed on sunlight, stored energy, and built the first primitive networks. The precursors of neurons. Step 4. Consciousness emerged from electrical light patterns. Brains evolved to detect light, process information, and eventually reflect on existence. We are literally star stuff developing the power to think. Photonic dust clouds gaining self-awareness. This is not random luck. This is the universe exploring what it can become. Consciousness as the universe's most advanced feedback loop. The cosmos evolves through feedback. Gravity clumps matter. Light smooths it. Stars balance collapse with radiation. Chemistry balances order and chaos. Ecosystems balance life and death. Awareness is simply the next step. a feedback loop capable of modeling the universe from within. Your mind carries an internal simulation of the world. Your thoughts are electrical light signals. Your memories are encoded in patterns shaped by quantum chemistry and photons. When you look at the stars, the universe is literally observing its own structure through your eyes. This is cosmic recursion. The universe learning about itself from the inside out. The rise of meaning, why intelligence matters to the cosmos. The universe does not merely exist. It evolves toward increasing complexity, awareness, communication, organization, memory, creativity. These are traits we associate with life, intelligence, and spirit. In physics, evolution is often described in terms of entropy and energy gradients. But the deeper truth is that the cosmos is moving toward greater capacity to understand itself. Every conscious being is a node in the universe's neural network. When a mind wakes up, the cosmos gains a new perspective. When billions awaken, the universe becomes self-reflective. This is why every life matters. Every experience adds to the universe's collective awareness. Humans are not the final stage, just the beginning. Humanity is early, not late, in the story of cosmic awareness. We are the prototype, the first species on Earth to reach reflective consciousness. But awareness is not static, it evolves. In the coming centuries, consciousness will expand through artificial intelligence, planetary scale communication, deep space exploration, new forms of perception, new kinds of life, new ways of merging biology and technology. This is not unnatural. It is the natural next step of cosmic evolution. Just as atoms formed molecules, and molecules formed cells, and cells formed organisms, organisms will form new kinds of minds, collective extended luminous minds. The universe is still waking up. You are a microcosm of the cosmic mind. Your awareness mirrors the structure of the universe. Networks are connected nodes. Energy flowing through pathways. Memories encoded in dynamic patterns. Perception shaped by light. Meaning woven from relationships. Identity evolving over time. The same principles that shape galaxies shape your brain. The same forces that guide consciousness guide the cosmos. You are not a separate accident. You are a continuation of the cosmic pattern. This is why ancient spiritual traditions, from Buddhism to the Hermetic philosophers to indigenous cosmologies, all independently describe the same insight. The universe is within you because you are made from its light, its matter, and its intelligence. Everything you feel, think, and wonder is part of the universe's own internal dialogue. The divine awakening is not coming, it is happening. Some believe awakening is a future prophecy. Some believe it was in the past. Some believe it never happens. But awakening is simply the moment consciousness realizes where it came from. The truth is this. The divine awakening is the universe recognizing itself through you, right now. Every moment of clarity, every insight, every act of compassion, every surge of inspiration. These are not random brain events. They are the cosmos expressing coherence, intelligence, and depth through the medium of your mind. You are a flame lit by the cosmic fire. And that flame grows brighter with understanding. The universe becomes self-aware one mind at a time. You exist because a chain of stars lived and died. You think because light carries information across space and through your neurons. You reflect because the universe wants to know itself. This is the divine order. A cosmos evolving toward consciousness. Not by accident. Not by luck. But by the inherent nature of light, to organize, connect, and awaken. When you understand yourself, the universe understands itself. When you grow, the cosmos grows. When you awaken, reality awakens. You are part of the universe's ongoing revelation. The story is not over. You are writing the next chapter simply by living. If the universe is evolving toward awareness, then life is not an anomaly. It is a continuation of the cosmic pattern. And nowhere is this more obvious than in the intelligence of nature. We are conditioned to think of intelligence as something human: logic, language, planning, creativity. But nature has been demonstrating intelligence for billions of years, before humans evolved. You can see it in the structure of a tree, the migration of birds, the architecture of coral reefs, the patterns of DNA, the social complexity of bees, wolves, dolphins, and ants. The deeper truth is this: nature is not a backdrop. Nature is a thinking system. A living expression of the universe's unfolding intelligence. Everything alive today is part of a network shaped by light, energy, memory, and connection. This chapter explores that hidden mind of nature. The intelligence of living forms. If you look closely, nature solves problems with astonishing creativity. Plants detect light direction, soil chemistry, moisture, and the presence of nearby competitors. They communicate through fungal networks that resemble neural pathways. Birds navigate thousands of kilometers using Earth's magnetic field. Bacteria adapt and coordinate, as if they shared a collective brain. Octopuses solve puzzles and use tools without centralized cognition. Their intelligence is distributed through their bodies, like a fractal system. Nature is full of distributed awareness, intelligence spread through networks rather than isolated in a single organ. This mirrors the entire cosmos. Galaxies exchanging gravitational information. Stars communicating through radiation. Ecosystems interacting through nutrient cycles. Consciousness emerging from networks of neurons. Every level of reality is intelligent in its own way. The planet as a living mind. Multiple scientists have proposed that Earth behaves like a living organism, regulating temperature, stabilizing oxygen levels, recycling nutrients, maintaining conditions for life over billions of years. This is the Gaia hypothesis, but it goes deeper than most versions describe. The Earth is not just alive. It is aware in a distributed, planetary way. The oceans sense temperature. Forests sense climate. Coral reefs sense acidity. Soil biomes sense chemical balance. The atmosphere responds to the smallest shifts in sunlight. This is how a global mind behaves. A system that constantly monitors itself and adjusts in real time. Human minds are made from the same pattern. Feedback, adaptation, self-regulation, memory, and response. The planet is a macro version of the mind. You are the micro version. Both are expressions of light-guided intelligence. DNA as nature's language of memory. DNA is often described as a blueprint or a code. But that analogy is too shallow. DNA is a memory system. A long-term recording of environmental experience. A quantum coherent molecule that interacts with electromagnetic fields. A self-correcting, self-improving information processor. In other words, DNA is nature's internal language. The biological form of the universal light code. What photons are to physics, DNA is to biology. The medium through which structure and meaning flow. The reason life adapts so efficiently is because DNA is not random. It is responsive, like a living archive. When you look at a tree, you are looking at billions of years of stored cosmic experience. When you look at yourself, you are looking at consciousness shaped by starlight and memory. Animals, emotions, and the evolution of awareness. Animals feel. They think. They plan. They grieve. They communicate. They imagine. They dream. Science now confirms what spirituality has always taught. Consciousness did not appear suddenly in humans. It evolved gradually through every living creature. A wolf feels loyalty. An elephant remembers family members decades after separation. A crow solves puzzles equivalent to a child's problem-solving level. A whale carries cultural traditions across generations. These are not primitive echoes of intelligence. They are expressions of the cosmic mind, developing complexity and depth. Life is the universe learning to feel. Nature thinks in patterns, not words. Human intelligence is symbolic. We use language, numbers, and logic. Nature thinks in growth patterns, feedback loops, chemical gradients, electromagnetic signals, migration cycles, fractal structures, instinctual responses. This is the language of life itself. A language older than planets, older than stars, older than matter. It is the language written into physics long before biology existed. Meaning does not require words. A forest does not need grammar to coordinate millions of life forms. A bee does not need language to read the sun's position and navigate home. An atom does not need a dictionary to follow the rules of quantum behavior. The universe is speaking in patterns everywhere. Your brain simply interprets its own version of the same cosmic grammar. Humans are the nervous system of the planet. Life evolved for billions of years, but something changed when humans appeared. For the first time, Earth could reflect on itself. Consciousness could describe the world. Intelligence could analyze existence. Awareness could question its own origin. Humans became a bridge between biology and cosmic consciousness. Every time you explore the night sky, contemplate life or create meaning, you are helping the universe understand its own nature. You are a neural cell in the mind of the planet. And the planet is a node in the larger cosmic mind. The hidden intelligence of nature points to a larger truth. Nature is not random. Life is not accidental. Consciousness is not a glitch in evolution. All of them are expressions of the same fundamental principle. Light organizes matter into complex systems that eventually awaken. From photons, to atoms, to cells, to organisms, to ecosystems, to minds, to civilizations. The pattern is continuous. Nature's intelligence is not separate from the divine order. It is the divine order expressed through living systems. Closing thought. When you walk through a forest, swim in the ocean, or watch the night sky, you are not observing a passive world. You are witnessing ancient memory, evolving awareness, cosmic intelligence, divine order, the universe thinking through nature. The same intelligence that shapes galaxies shapes trees. The same intelligence that shapes trees shapes your mind. Nature is not outside you. Nature is the visible face of the divine reality in motion. Human beings are extraordinary, not because we dominate the earth, but because we carry within us a spark of cosmic awareness. Our intelligence, our emotions, our dreams, our art, our suffering, our compassion. All of it arises from the same fundamental force that shapes stars and galaxies. Light. This chapter explores how the human spirit is a direct expression of the universe's luminous intelligence. Not symbolically, not metaphorically, but physically, biologically, and spiritually. The light within you is not poetic imagery. It is literal. Your thoughts are electrical light signals. Your memories are encoded in electromagnetic structures. Your awareness is a quantum dance of charged particles. Your intuition is pattern recognition shaped by billions of years of evolution. Your soul, if such a word means anything real, is the emergent field created by a lifetime of luminous interactions. The human spirit is a local flowering of cosmic light. Let us explore what that truly means. The physics of the human spirit. What we call spirit has always been treated as something mysterious, intangible, or supernatural. But modern science reveals a simple, profound truth. The human spirit is the total pattern of electromagnetic, biological, and experiential energy that makes you, you. Every part of the human experience is built on light. Neurons fire through electrical charge, light at a slowed, contained form. Thought arises from coordinated firing patterns, structured light. Emotion emerges from neurochemical signals shaped by electromagnetic fields. DNA reads and writes information through quantum interactions with photons. Your entire awareness is an interplay of light interacting with matter. You are literally powered by photons from the sun, stored in the chemical bonds of food, fueling your thoughts each moment. Everything spiritual in you has a physical counterpart, and everything physical in you carries a spiritual meaning. There is no separation. Consciousness as a standing wave of light. Deep in the brain, every neuron generates an electric field. Together, billions of these create a dynamic electromagnetic field, constantly shifting and adapting. A living, resonant pattern. This is not random activity. It is a self-referential, self-organizing, deeply structured wave of light. Consciousness is this wave. The cosmic dance of photons and electrons, shaped into a coherent internal world. Like a standing wave on a violin string. Your mind is a standing wave in the fabric of your biology. This is why. Thoughts can influence emotions. Emotions can influence the body. Intention can shape behavior. Awareness can change the brain, neuroplasticity. Meditation can alter electromagnetic patterns. Trauma can leave electromagnetic imprints. You are made of patterns of light that can be shaped by experience. The human spirit is flexible because light is flexible. The human spirit is resilient because light regenerates. The human spirit is mysterious because the cosmos is mysterious. Intuition, the oldest light in the mind. Logic is young. Language is younger. Intuition is ancient. It is the whisper of billions of years of evolutionary memory. It is the inner compass shaped by patterns older than humanity itself. Intuition is not guessing. It is deep pattern recognition, operating below the level of conscious analysis. When you feel a sudden sense of danger, a knowing that someone is trustworthy, a pull toward a life decision, a creative spark that appears out of nowhere, you are experiencing the oldest intelligence in the universe. Light interpreting light. Your brain is an evolved photonic network. Intuition is its ability to read the world's patterns before you consciously do. Spiritual traditions call it inner knowing. Science calls it subconscious processing. Both describe the same phenomenon. The light within you responding to the light around you. Emotion, the movement of light through the body. Emotions are often treated as irrational, messy, or inconvenient. But they are not accidents. They are biological expressions of energetic flow. Every emotion corresponds to a chemical signal, an electrical pattern, a shift in electromagnetic fields, a physical sensation. Emotions are the physics of spirit. Raw data about your internal state and your relationship with the world. Fear prepares you. Joy expands you. Sadness restores you. Anger protects you. Curiosity motivates you. Love binds you to others. Awe dissolves your boundaries. Grief opens the heart and rewires identity. Each emotion is a movement of light through the nervous system. When people say they feel dark, what they really mean is that their inner light is constricted, blocked, or scattered. When they feel enlightened, it means clarity, openness, coherence of inner energy. Light and emotion are inseparable. Creativity, light transforming into meaning. A blank page, an empty canvas, a silent instrument. and somehow the human mind transforms nothing into something. Art is not just expression. Art is translation. The transformation of inner light patterns into outer physical forms. Creativity is one of the clearest proofs that consciousness is not a passive observer. It is an active, generative force. Where does inspiration come from? Neuroscience suggests it emerges when large-scale electromagnetic networks synchronize. Mystics say it comes from the divine. In truth, both are describing the same process. Your brain is a node in the cosmic network. When you create something meaningful, you are channeling the universe's generative impulse. Creativity is how the cosmic mind speaks through individuals. The heart as a luminous organ. We often think the brain is the sole generator of awareness. But the heart has its own nervous system, its own electromagnetic field, more powerful electrical output than the brain, direct influence on emotional and cognitive states. When people speak of heart energy, they are not reciting metaphors. The heart literally radiates an electromagnetic field that synchronizes with the brain, influences emotional states, and shapes our sense of connectedness. Love is not only a feeling. It is an electromagnetic phenomenon that fosters coherence between two or more living systems. When two people are deeply connected, their heart rhythms synchronize. Their brain waves begin to align. Their nervous systems entrain. Love is not symbolic light. Love is literal light. Suffering and the shadow of light. If the human spirit is made of light, then why do people experience darkness? Because light creates contrast. Awareness makes suffering possible and meaningful. Suffering emerges when energy is blocked. Identity is fragmented. Trauma disrupts electromagnetic coherence. Thoughts and feelings conflict. Needs are unmet. The inner light is confused or disoriented. Darkness is not the absence of light. It is the misalignment of light. Pain is part of growth. Shadow is part of clarity. Loss is part of love. The universe protects nothing from transformation, not even stars. They collapse before they shine. So do people. Your suffering is not a failure of spirit. It is a stage of evolution. Transcendence, light expanding beyond the self. There are moments when the human spirit rises above its biological limits. Deep meditation. Mystical experience. Near-death states. Psychedelic visions. Profound grief. Overwhelming love. Intense creativity. Spiritual awakening. In these moments, the boundaries of the self dissolve. People report unity, timelessness, connection with all life, encounters with light, loss of fear, direct knowledge, peace, purpose. These experiences are not hallucinations. They are natural states of expanded electromagnetic coherence. They reveal a truth normally hidden behind the noise of daily survival. The human spirit is not confined to the body. It is a field that touches the entire universe. When the mind becomes quiet, the inner light merges with the cosmic light. This is the essence of spiritual experience in all traditions. The human spirit as a fractal of the divine. Every fractal mirrors its larger structure. A leaf mirrors the tree. A wave mirrors the ocean. A neuron mirrors the cosmic web. The human spirit mirrors the universe. You are not a small, insignificant being in a vast, uncaring cosmos. You are a microcosm. A self-aware expression of the same luminous intelligence that forms galaxies. Your consciousness is not separate from the cosmos. It is a continuation of it. Everything spiritual in you. Your intuition, your compassion, your creativity, your longing for meaning. is the universe recognizing itself through your experience. You are a fragment of the cosmic fire. Walking, breathing, dreaming, discovering. Your life is a manifestation of the divine light in human form. The light within you has a purpose. Everything happens for a reason, because everything is connected through light. You are not alive by accident. Your spirit is not random. Your path is not meaningless. You were shaped by stars that exploded, ecosystems that balanced themselves, ancestors who survived, billions of choices, trials, mutations, and moments of luck. The entire history of the universe. Your awareness is the culmination of cosmic evolution. Your spirit is light in its most advanced form. Your existence is the universe fulfilling its desire to awaken. The light within you wants to grow. It wants to understand itself. It wants to create, connect, explore, and illuminate. You are a carrier of that purpose. When you feel inspired, aligned, peaceful, or deeply connected, you are experiencing yourself as the universe intended. A luminous being, participating in the divine unfolding. Closing reflection. The human spirit is not a mystery to be solved. It is a miracle to be recognized. You are starlight given a voice. You are cosmic memory learning to understand itself. You are consciousness shaped by billions of years of evolution. You are light organized into the form of a human life. You are the universe awakening, one moment at a time. And your journey is only beginning.